Yes. Hit that drunken kung fu. So sick.
Hi, my name is Jared Hughes.
I'm Swerve. I am a stuntman and actor. I've been in films such as Ant-Man and the Wasp, Dune, Love, Death and Robots, Hero, Call of Duty. You may know me as Thorn.
I am another stuntman. I'm also a videographer and producer and director that does action-specific oriented things. I work with a lot of big YouTubers like Eric, Kinsey, people that I put in extreme situations and make them do crazy shit.
Hey guys, what is up? My name is Omar Zaki. I am a stuntman and parkour athlete here in Los Angeles. I've stunt doubled actors like Lil Dicky on the TV show Dave. I'm actually getting hit by a car next week. If you watched Ultimate Tag, I was the geek on Ultimate Tag. I've been killed by Chris Pratt. I've done commercials for Nike and whatnot. Done a lot of really, really great fun things, and today I'm gonna be watching and reacting to some stunts here on BuzzFeed. John Wick, Chapter 3.
Hey, Jonathan. Don't see any other way.
So this stuntman got the hardest wreck award. They had blue screen on every platform.
It's real. It's like completely that dude is taking all those hits. You know, these are real falls, they're real hits. Maybe a little padding, but you're still falling, 30 feet, hitting.
Oh! You can tell it's visual effects. After he hits that railing, you can see it kind of like accelerates very, very unnaturally, very quickly to hit that next panel. And in that moment, it just stands out as you can see that there's been some visual effects tampering with it, which sucks because they probably did that and made it real, and the stunt performer took a mad beating that day.
Atomic Blonde.
So Charlie's trained with 8711, one of the top action martial arts teams in the world. They put her through a lot of workouts and training.
The choreo in this is absolutely sick because it's like also utilizing like the rope.
And so utilizing props is what separates a lot of different styles. The biggest thing about these are the stuntmen that don't really get as much shine. Their reactions are killing it right now and making all of her impacts look really, really heavy. They had to build the choreo to make it seem that the hits were effective enough to stun the guy so she can go from one person to the next.
So that, I believe, is a foam prop that they built so that she could actually make contact with some people. That guy is actually taking, yes, it's a foam pot to the face, but it's still got some weight to it. So that's respectable to take that just totally dead onto the face. Also, just the sound design in this moment, that's fantastic. Okay, so for that, the way they pull that off is you usually create a stopping point for the door. I believe there is some contact that's happening, but you can see that it's hitting the wall there at the same time. Maybe it's not fully hitting the person in the face, maybe it's kind of hitting the wall and their face at the same time, but that's a great, great moment right there. That's sick. That's really sick. Oh, that guy just went neck first into the ground. I think in the behind the scenes when Sam Hargrave, the stunt coordinator or fight coordinator, was talking about this, he told his performer one thing. He said, hey, no matter what, don't land on your neck. And that is exactly what happened. And they used that take because it looks gnarly.
A lot of like movies, you can tell with the way they shoot it, like whether you can see the ground or not, tells you kind of like how advanced the stunt people are, because whether they're hitting the concrete or in this case, the tile, the hard floor, versus shooting it so you can not see the ground and there's a mat there and stuff like that. Like this choreography is brutal. This is an amazing scene.
Explain a descender to the people who do not know what a descender is.
Basically, like 2 wire points. And as he's riding down one wire, it slows him down as he gets closer to the ground. And you're talking about like, it has to be dialed in so perfectly and so precisely. Goldeneye opening scene.
I love how quiet this is. It's very intense. Ooh! God, that looks real. Is that real? That's terrifying. Honestly, I'm most impressed by the camera operator keeping him in frame the whole time. That's impressive.
Jesus. All practical, all real. There's no CGI, ladies and gentlemen.
But I tell you what, like bungee jumping is more sketchy than skydiving, just statistically. I prefer skydiving way more than bungee jumping, although I've done it. Here we go with Inception. That right there, ooh.
That bike wreck.
Yeah, I've done a few car hits off of a bicycle, never off a motorcycle. But for NCIS, I got hit by a car 6 times in one day. So I feel his pain.
What a dream fight scene to be able to do. This would be so cool to do this. I'm so jealous. Like you would have to rehearse this so much to be able to get the gravity transitions from wall to wall, to have this feeling of out of control chaos, but also in control where you can actually execute the choreography that you're supposed to do, because they do have choreography in this moment. They do have blocking, they have to stay in frame of the camera, they have to not punch each other in the face, but it has to look chaotic and out of control, and my gosh, did they knock it out of the park with this.
It's funny because like the more like brutal the stunts are, like when you see like in Fast and Furious or something where you see a car flipping down the road, there's somebody in that car doing that for real. That's not CG. They actually do the easier things CG, and the more complicated stuff like that, like car hits, flips, like a lot of the most insane falls and stuff like that, they're all real. I mean, you know, you can tell when it's a dummy falling off a building versus a person.
Right. They're on wires here, for sure. It's just the rigging has to be very, yeah, to be able to create this.
Mission Impossible Fallout, I don't want to lie, but I heard that they rehearsed this a lot, maybe hundreds of times, because this is practical.
Best stunt ever. Not stunt ever, but I love this scene.
He's biased.
And they actually made his oxygen rig for this jump. They made that mask and everything custom for this movie. You start to get a hypoxia, which is basically where you go loony, I guess, above like 15,000 feet. You have to have supplemental oxygen.
I just love the guy, the conscious guy who has to pretend to be unconscious as they're just flying through the air.
Legend of Drunken Master. This guy's kicks are amazing, and always got really inspired by the way that he moved his legs. He's so sick.
And in all reality, like, we've got some cool movies with some cool stunts here in America, but there is no stunt team in the world like Jackie Chan's stunt team. They are all insane.
Yes, hit that drunken kung fu.
If you watch how Jackie Chan sets up his fight scenes, there's no shaky cam, there's no crazy camera movement, because he always says that he wants everybody to fully see the action, see that they're actually doing what they're doing.
There's no cheating.
Yeah, there's no cheating it.
I love how it's all about the character with Jackie. It's not just about the action, it's about the character. We all know that.
Oh yeah, those are real coals that man is rolling through.
The props, like everything, like they just take everything to the next level. Cause like, especially when like this is an older film and a lot of older like Hong Kong style fights and stuff like that, more low budget, or at least access to less of the cheats that we have here and that we had here in the media center of the world. You know, so they did it more practical, you know, and it's insane.
We are about to look at Everything Everywhere All at Once. Nice Hong Kong fall. That's a great fall. We call that a Hong Kong fall, or a HK twist, where you kind of just jump in the air and you twist a bunch of times until you hit the ground. And doing that on a breakaway prop, that's a nice stunt.
They are killing it. So this is, again, creative use of props that we really enjoyed, because, and especially this movie does a lot of that. They really utilize it. This man is using his fanny pack as a whip chain.
Right here is like a good example of where you use the creative choreography, and I'm pretty sure they use wires in this flip.
That's such an incredible shot. So sick. That's an incredible fight scene. All right, we're looking at Captain America's Civil War right now.
All these jumps in the first scenes, like almost all these look like wire jumps. Very like held in position, coming down nice and clean, landing.
Good cut.
This is such a cool scene. So what they use for this scene, there's a lot of behind the scenes on this stuff. I believe they call it the magic carpet, where they actually have, it's either like a treadmill or essentially a big mat, a big carpet that is being pulled by a car. And the way they film it is they just frame the car out, and then they have people running either on this treadmill or on this giant carpet that's being pulled, and then you just film them running so it looks like they're running super speed, but in reality they're just running on a platform that's being pulled by a car, and then they have the rest of the cars around them driving at a slower or regular speed, so that it looks like these guys are running at a super speed. So this is a practical effect, which is super cool. Oh my God, kicking off the ceiling? What is that? I don't remember that part.
A few of those look practical, but all of these are stunt performers that all these cars that are wrecking or sliding off or getting out of the way, or any of the pedestrians on the street, they're all stunt performers.
So there's a cannon roll right here where this SUV turns over. I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to bet there is somebody in that car doing that practically.
Knowing a lot of these performers myself, hearing the kind of stories that they have, seeing what they've literally had to go through doing a certain thing 30, 50, 70, 90 times, however many times to get it right for a film, and the level of skill that they need, it's immense. I hope that you enjoyed this and that you learned something about stunts. Again, my name is Omar Zaki on this BuzzFeed Stuntmen React, and I'll see you guys later.